Yo, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? See, the camera ain't gonna shit like that. So I want to talk about just my opinion on the game. So Kansas City versus Denver, right? So the spread was 10.5. The odds makers in Vegas, they gave Denver 10 points. So if you pick Denver, if you had the balls to pick Denver, you you won some money last night, which a lot of people probably lost a lot of money because they picked Kansas City. Kansas City won the game. It was 8-19. It was ugly. Like Mahomes. So before I start talking about the stats, right? You got Mahomes is the coolest quarterback that throw incomplete passes. Like he rolled out, he did one of those temptation shuffles and he threw the pass out of bounds. He threw it over the end zone. They was in the red zone. And it was like he was 30 or 40, 300 yards. He had a touchdown and he had a pick, right? So Kelsey did his thing. He played phenomenal. T Swift was there with some girl. I don't know who the girl was who she was hugging. I don't know. Some snow bunny. I'm confused. So like the other wide receivers wasn't really doing anything for Kansas City. This one guy, number 83, he dropped the pass. The pass was in his hands. You know what I mean? Mahomes was looking like, what? Like he put it right in his hands. So there was the rookie number 4 was playing really well, but like they the statistics look good for Kansas City, but Kansas City didn't look that good. You know what I mean? Because now anybody that played Denver, I'm expecting them to score 70 points. Like Miami ruined it for everybody. So during the game, Kansas City had 3 points in the first quarter, right? So let me just pull up the thing so I can be accurate with this. They had 3 points in the first quarter, and I'm like, Andy Reid supposed to be this genius. Denver's supposed to be this horrible team with the touchdowns. Like I'm looking for touchdowns. Second quarter, Travis Kelsey he gets a touchdown. So let me just make sure that that's right. So Kelsey, yeah, they couldn't stop Kelsey. Oh no, he didn't score. Oh, who scored? So Kadarius Tony got the touchdown. Kadarius Tony, Kadarius Tony scored. So Travis Kelsey was coming in and out of the game, but he had 9 receptions for a buck 20, average 13 yards per play, and then the rookie Rice from SMU, Rashid Rice, he had 4 targets, 4 catches, 72 yards, but he wasn't like they kept like Kelsey might have been hurt, and then Rice like he would go out of play, and then he would come back in. I'm like, yo, he one of your best receivers production wise. Why he not playing? So I was just like Mahomes. Everybody, Mahomes is great. It is what it is. He's cool. He's rich. They own a soccer team. Like it is what it is. But I'm like, Kansas City as a whole, Andy Reid supposed to be this offensive genius, and I was just like, y'all scored one time in the red zone. Y'all just kicked a bunch of field goals. So like at a certain point, I thought Denver scored. Sutton had this amazing catch in the red zone, and it was like 8-16. They ended up getting a field goal. They got stopped and stuff like that. But it was like Kansas City. Like y'all looked like the Cowboys. Like y'all wasn't scoring at all. So this is what grinded my gears. Kansas City, Andy Reid called it a trick play. Mahomes gave it to the running back. The running back tossed it to Kadarius Tony, and he threw a pass downfield. So you can see in the stats, Kadarius Tony was 0 for 1, and he almost threw an interception. I'm like, y'all got Mahomes. Why y'all letting anybody else throw the ball? Like make that make sense. Like I'm like, this is crazy. Like, and none of the announcers said anything about this. It was just like, yo, in San Francisco had like this reverse play, and it was wonderful. And then like they scored a touchdown or some shit. Like it was took kiddos, yeah, a little end around or whatever, a little flea flicker, and they ran it to perfection, and they scored. And then like somebody else, they tried to toss it. I think Denver tried to run an end around, and then the Jets defensive end fucking they gave it to him though. They gave it to the role player. So it didn't, it's not how you run it. So was it Denver? And it just it was somebody. It's like that's not how it's done. But I was trying to be neutral. I didn't want to come into the game. I was trying to watch the game from a neutral perspective. Like, okay, let me see what Mahomes does. Let me see what Russell Wilson does, right? Not having any biases. So Russell, he was 13 to 22. He threw for 95 yards. Jesus Christ. He had one touchdown. He threw two picks. So they ran the ball 10 times. Williams had 50 yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry. He averaged 5 yards a carry. Russell Wilson, he ran for 30 yards at 78 yards. But they wasn't getting any, they wasn't converting on third down because like nine of the throws was incomplete, and that was all on third down. So really, he needed to kind of be like 16 or 22. Like I don't even know. Like they this was going three and out. Besides, he threw three interceptions. So really, he was 13 or 20 or you know what I mean. But like he threw a lot of passes that the defenders was like batting down. You know what I mean? So like sometimes the receivers didn't even get a chance. So like it just was like it was a real sloppy game. You know what I mean? Like when it looks like they looked like they was able to run the ball, but they ran that thing 10 times. It was like I don't know. I guess they went. I'm just so confused about what's going on in Denver. Like um the quarterback Sean Payton, he looked like he missed Drew Brees. He looked regular. He looked regular as fuck. You know what I'm saying? Because once upon a time when Russell was that dude, let Russ cook. Him versus Mahomes would have been a marquee matchup. And it was just like my man texted me was like, "Yo, y'all could have flexed this shit. This was fucking crazy." But so like it just was like Kansas City don't even look like the second best team. Like I'm saying Detroit's the second best team in the NFL. San Francisco clearly is number one. Right? Miami would have been number one, right? After scoring 70 points versus Denver. But they lost next week. They lost next week. They scored 70 points and they lost the next week versus the Bills, which the Bills beat them, and then they lost the next week to Jacksonville. You're like, what the fuck? This is why I don't gamble, right? So Denver, they want to trade all of their. They want to trade Sutton. They want to trade Jerry Judy. Which Jerry Judy had a bad game. So let's just see. Sutton, he was 4 for um 46, 11 yards, a catch. He had a touchdown. Jerry Judy was 3 for 14. He averaged four. I'm not sure what was going on with Jerry Judy, but like it was my man Chris Manhurst played for Denver. I think I went to college with Chris Manhurst. Um, so they only passed the ball 20 times. They ran the ball 10. Well, no, they ran the ball 17. Let me look at the total stats. The team stats. So they had so let me just talk about from the third down perspective. They had 14 first downs. Kansas City had 22. They were 4 of 10 on third down. They had 49 plays, and then Kansas City had 70. It was just like, yo, like y'all barely had any opportunities and stuff like that. They were sacked 4 times. They punted the ball 5 times. They had penalties. They had 3 penalties. So they wasn't even getting penalized a lot. Kansas City had 7 penalties for 84 yards. But they turned the ball over. They had a fumble loss, and then they turned the ball over. They had 2 interceptions. So 3 turnovers, you can't win like that. So with Denver, y'all can run the ball. Y'all got some capable wide receivers. The defense played Kansas City and only gave up 19 points. Like Denver could have won this game. Y'all could have won. and y'all didn't. Y'all not that bad. Like, yo, all y'all gotta do is, let's say motherfucker fumble. All right, boom, Russ, you can't throw two picks, and y'all gotta put together a scoring drive. Y'all gotta get a first down. So like, y'all just need to run the ball more, and y'all need to pass the ball to your best guys on your best routes. Maybe y'all should just bench Russell Wilson. Let me just see. Maybe he the problem. Because they talking about trading Sutton and trading Jerry Judy. Like, maybe it's time to get somebody else. Russ ain't it. You know what I mean? Because Sean Payton is obviously a competent individual when it comes to coaching. And the defense didn't play that bad. The defense played pretty solid. Like, when you look at it, they they gave up 293 yards passing, and then 100 yards rushing. They gave up 5.6 per play, 22 first downs, but they didn't let them score a lot of points. They wasn't getting touchdowns. They only gave up one touchdown. You know what I mean? They just gave up a bunch of field goals. The defense, they gave them a chance to win. And let me see with the turnovers. They still got a turnover. Mahomes threw a pick. You know what I mean? So like my whole thing in my head, if an NFL defense holds the opposing team to less than 20 points, y'all got a chance. If they giving up 28, 30, 70, y'all gonna take an L. But the offense, they gotta be able to put together three touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? Or two touchdowns and a bunch of field goals. You know what I'm saying? So you figure you score 14, 17, three field goals. So you need to have five scoring drives, two of them, two minimum touchdowns to win against most teams. So the offensive coordinator coach, they got to figure this out. So Hunting Sutton had a great catch. They barely need to try to get somebody else. I'm not sure. Like they had a Crawford dude, Crofton or somebody. Somebody else was nice. I'm like Denver was good like 3 years ago. I'm just so confused on why the fact that y'all just like Kansas City not that good. Like Kansas City, they get a bunch of field goals. They really couldn't convert in the red zone only one time. They were being a little cute. They got a bunch. They drop a lot of passes. They didn't have and they had a bunch of penalties. Like the dude, like yo, they had 7 penalties. You know what I'm saying? But they won time of possession and then they score more points. Because if you take that touchdown away, that's 12. Like they just like they didn't play too hot. But yo, that's my time or whatever like that. You know what time it is.